Hey there, planners. It's time to set up 2021 January in my A5 Stalogy bullet journal. I am super excited to be moving into a new month, a new year, a new notebook. So go grab your planners and let's get planning. All right, so before I actually get into the planning, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm going to be using today. So I'll start with some of the printables and decor. So this scrapbook paper that I'm using, this decorative paper, this journal card, these are from a subscription box that I have been using for about 4 months now, and I absolutely love it. I've talked about this in previous videos, but so I've gotten some questions about maybe could I go over a bit more detail about it. So I'll just quickly describe and I'll show you what I got for January. So there are some parts and pieces missing because, as you can see, I've already been using them, but I wanted to show you what's included in this kit. So this is from the scrapbooking store. There is a link down below. It is extremely reasonably priced, and every month I get a kit of decorative paper and some additional goodies that come in the box. And I use all of this in my A5 Stalogy bullet journal. So for the month of January, I got these adorable little snowmen with the sparkly decal. I will definitely be popping them into my, my bullet journal. I got this set of letters, which is fantastic. There are 210 stickers in here. And you can see the letters are sort of a wood grain or gingham pattern. So I'm going to look for an opportunity to use them. If I don't use them here, I will definitely be using them somewhere else in some of the crafts that I like to do. These are really cool. These are page headers, and I'm definitely going to pull these out and try to use these this month. But there are several different types of page headers. I can see some of them, this being good for January as well as February, because it's got some pink and hearts, and so really cute to put around the edges of pages and decorate. So those are kind of the extra goodies. And then here's the core paper kit. This is from Echo Park, which I absolutely love. I use an Echo Park traveler's notebook for my scripture journal. And this set is the a perfect winter set, and this is just kind of a preview of what came in the set. You can see I have been cutting some. So these are journaling cards, but there's also decorative paper on the back if you didn't want to use the journaling cards. I've cut some out already, but how cute are these? They're great for the inside pockets of my planner, which I like to use in the planner cover just as decoration. They're great for backgrounds, for pop-out cards. I really love these, and I use these a lot in my journal. Here are an entire page of really high quality stickers. So these stickers are not quite as thick as cardstock, but definitely thicker than normal stickers, which means they last a lot longer. They are fantastic. There's borders down here at the bottom, and then there's a whole bunch of winter themed stickers that match the paper. So I'm definitely going to be using these. I love the theme. I love the colors. I'm really excited about this kit. And then here is an entire page full of page borders, which is just fantastic. You can see cutting these out and using these as page borders. I'm definitely going to be looking for opportunity to do that. If you were not interested in the page borders, all of the paper in the pack is double-sided, so you have different options of how you want to use the paper. This is really great. Here's some more, and double-sided. I love the red. Stripes, winter stripes, and then red polka dots. Again, I think this could double as a February paper as well. I really like the red polka dot. I got some navy polka dot, and then, oh my goodness, I am absolutely nuts about snowmen. So when I take down the holiday decorations after, you know, Christmas is over, I immediately put out all my snowmen. So I really love snowmen. So the fact that this paper comes in here, I love this. And I could see actually cutting out some of the snowmen and using those it just by themselves. Really cute paper. All right, here's a great wood background with, you know, some winter themes, snowmen, and then red and white striped. This does kind of remind me of Christmas a bit, but also like candy canes. So this could have a couple of different uses as well. Beautiful plaid. I'm loving this plaid color. And then some snowflakes. Really nice winter pattern, and you can see all the colors match with the stickers. And then we've got Jack Frost, Nippin' at Your Nose, Winter Wonderland, Snow Place Like Home, just really cute sayings for winter. And then here is a page of some bigger journal cards here, and then there's also this really awesome swirl pattern on the back in the colors. I love this pattern. This actually looks a little bit more like summer beachy theme to me, but I could also see this being winter snow. So that is the scrapbooking kit that comes. I get this every month, and I really do use all the parts and pieces every month, whether it's in my A5 Stalogy or I am also starting some scrapbooking projects, and so I'm using some of that in my scrapbooking projects. It's just a fantastic kit, and it's a really good price. So those are going to be part of the setup for January. So now let me talk through the printables that I'm using. So I'll do this in order of how I'm using them. So this printable actually came as a larger page from Lovely Planner. And she put out a bunch of miniature calendars in different fonts. And I, of course, printed a bunch of those because hand drawing these things or even trying to stamp them can be really frustrating. So I'll leave all the links to the printables that I'm using down in the description box below. And just so you know, I try to only use free printables. There's just a lot of options out there for freebies, and you know, I don't want to spend the money on printables. So I try to use all freebies, and they'll be listed below. This one's from Lovely Planner. I also have this monthly calendar. This will be my main monthly calendar. This is from Scattered Squirrel. So the printable from Scattered Squirrel for 2021 has all the calendars in it. It is colorful, but I print it in black and white because I really want it to be able to go with whatever theme I'm using that month. So I have these all printed and ready to go, and I just printed them in the size that I wanted to fit in my bullet journal. So this is going to be my main calendar, and again, Scattered Squirrel is where this came from. Then I have my meal plan. The meal plan this month is a printable from Peanuts Planner Co. And I know a lot of people really like this printable. I think it's going to make a good fit for my meal plan, and I again printed it for the size of the bullet journal. This is also a free printable, and Peanuts Planner Co. has actually a really good library. There's a bunch of free printables that are really handy. I have my weather tracker. So this is a weather tracker that I created myself in Word. I really wanted to be able to include my own version of the icons. I love to track weather. So this is something I created myself. Super simple, just making a table in Word and putting the headings at the top. I'll write the month in and then be able to come here and track weather. I have a daily gratitude journal, and it's got, you know, the days of the month here, and you just write in what you're thankful for. This is a free printable from Day Designer. And then I have a couple of extra printables that I'm going to be using this month that I typically do not use, but because it's January, I really want to ground myself here. The first is from Cultivate What Matters Power Sheets. This is Goals at a Glance. So I am using Power Sheets, and I will link the video here above for my goal planner. But I want to have my goals in the month of January, and then also take a page to sort of brain dump what are the actual activities for January. I will be posting a video soon on the goal planning process for January, so make sure you're subscribed to see that. But I will be using this and leaving a blank page to be able to write down, you know, just journal and write down ideas for what I'm going to be accomplishing this month. I'm also including this from Emily Lay. This is a free printable from Emily Lay. it is a routines. So I have a morning routine and an evening routine. If you've watched any of my videos recently, you know that I have a new puppy. He is 12 weeks old at the time that I'm filming this, and we are still trying to establish what our routine is. And it's really important as I start in January and get back to work after the holidays, really getting into a routine. So I'm actually going to use this to write down the ideal routine, how I would like things to go, and then I'm going to use my daily pages to track what actually happens and see if I can identify what is preventing my ideal routine from occurring. And so that's an activity I'm going to do all month, and I think this printable is going to be really helpful. The last one I'll use is my brain dump, and this is from Scattered Squirrel. This is the first time I've used this, but I like how minimal it is, but also there's some structure here, so I can write things down and check the boxes. Scattered Squirrel is one of my favorite sites for free printables, so make sure you check that out. Okay, the first thing I want to get down is my monthly cover, and then I also want to include on this opposite page one of those journaling cards from the scrapbooking store kit with my word of the year. I think it's important to keep this in front of me, and I just want to include that here. I actually printed this little section out. It came from a Cultivate What Matters free printable, but I just cut it down to be this part. It's actually a much bigger page where you can journal on your word of the year. I've already done that in my Power Sheets Goal Planner, but I just wanted to keep it here, and then I'm going to put down the January cover. So while I'm doing that, I would love to chat with you about January setup. So what's everybody doing for January in their bullet journal? Are you changing things up drastically? Are you keeping things the same? You know, I've seen a lot of questions in some of the forums, the planner forums I'm in, particularly for bullet journals. People really struggle with the decision whether you start a new bullet journal in January or not if you are not actually finished with your previous bullet journal when the end of December comes. And so I'll tell you, I typically try to plan that out and make sure I am at the end or very close to the end of a bullet journal so that I always start a new journal in January. To me, January is just the month of fresh starts, and that includes having the bullet journal all set up. Now, I have talked about, I don't do a lot of, yearly setup in my actual bullet journal because I use my reference notebook, and that's where all my annual pages go. My brain dump triggers, my monthly planner setup, which I am using today. I've got it set over to the side, and I'm going through exactly the setup checklist. I did all the prep work and the printables here, and then when I've got it all set up, then I will go through the brain dump triggers as well as the quarterly, monthly task and make sure I get all of those plugged in. If you want to learn more about this, I'll have that video linked here above, but this is really where a lot of the annual setup goes, and I've already done that. So I'm interested in hearing just what's your take on setting up your January bullet journal. A lot of folks do this way ahead of time. A lot of folks set up their entire bullet journal or go way ahead of time. I have never been able to do that just because I don't know what my needs will be. And I've been bullet journaling for so many years, I know enough to know that sometimes the way I like it right now is not necessarily the way I like it next month or 2 months from now. So I know not to go too far ahead of time. All right, there's the January cover. I'm going to be flipping over to do the monthly calendar. All right, here's the monthly calendar, and I'm just going to be putting this down with double-sided tape. Double-sided tape is such a fantastic resource. I also like the Tombow Mono adhesive. That is a great tool as well, but it's kind of pricey, and I go through it really fast. And so this double-sided sticky tape from Scotch is actually a very affordable option, and it lasts a bit longer than the Tombow Mono adhesive. So I try to save the Tombow Mono adhesive for projects that require a bit more sticky. All right, so there's the monthly calendar all set up and ready to go. I am actually going to pop some of these scrapbooking store kit stickers in because there are some really cute ones and I feel like it needs just a bit more decoration. I will talk a little bit about how I use this. I've talked about it before. This calendar is really my catch-all calendar because I set up daily pages somewhat on a weekly basis. So when I get done with this setup, I'll go ahead and set up the daily pages for the first week of January. But I don't necessarily have everything set up, all the daily pages set up at one time. So I really do need a place to be able to capture anything that's incoming or changes, things like that. And that's where I find that this calendar really becomes a catch-all. It ends up quite messy by the end of the month, and that's because I'm really using it to pick things up as they come in, and so it gets a little scratchy, but that it works. It works for me. So that's how I use this calendar. Okay, I feel like that is sufficiently decorated and ready to go for the month of January. I am now going to be flipping over and doing my monthly meal plan. All right, so here's the meal plan calendar all set up. I'm going to add a few stickers. I do have a question for everybody. So I know a lot of times people try to do sort of food related or eating related challenges or New Year's resolutions in January. I'm really curious if you participate in that kind of thing. But even more important for me, I like to really use my crock pot a lot in January. I like warm soups, things like that. I have recently tried to find as many crock pot recipes as I could, and I am actually having a really hard time finding those. So I was wondering if anybody has a website or a place that you get crockpot recipes that you would recommend. Now I've checked out all the big ones like, Food Network, All Recipes, things like that, but I'm just wondering if there are any smaller sites that offer really great crockpot recipes. If you know of any, would you leave those down in the comments below? I'm really on the hunt for great crockpot recipes. All right, so here's my meal plan, and the way that I use this, I come in here and plan out the dinners. I don't really plan out breakfast or lunch, but I do plan out dinners. And I'll come in here about once a week and do the next week ahead of time. I have recently been ordering my groceries for delivery versus going to the grocery store, and that's just thinking about COVID-19 and kind of where we are in my area of the world. It's a little bit safer just to kind of stay out of public as much as possible. I do end up having to make a couple trips to the grocery store for small things, but they're very limited. But that's how I use my meal plan. All right, so now I've got my weather tracker and my daily gratitude log plugged in here. And I'm going to add just a couple stickers to decorate this. I feel like this is a great place to use the bundle up sticker. So I'll ask, does anybody live in an area where you are expecting a lot of snow this winter? I do not. We are expecting a lot of rain, which is not really great. I am not a fan of winter rain, and the yard is a disaster right now because of all the rain we've had. Which, let me tell you, with a new puppy who goes out all the time, that's not been a lot of fun. But just curious, for those of you who live in areas where you are expecting a lot of snow, are you happy about that? Or are you thinking about flying south for the winter to get away from all the snow? All right, I talked about this free printable from Cultivate What Matters. I will be coming back to this and talking a little bit more about this in a video coming up in the future about January goal setting, but I am going to leave this page blank because this is where I'm really going to write out some of the goals and also just kind of journal if I'm having any victories through the month or things are going well or I'm really struggling with something. I just want a place to come in and be able to write about that. And I may add a bit more decoration here from the Cultivate What Matters sticker book, the Power Sheet sticker book. So I'll come back to this and do some more work in another video. All right, so these last two spreads are the routine spread and the brain dump spread. I'm actually going to use one of these headers from the sticker kit, and I will put a label on top of this too, for myself to say brain dump later on when I get to setting it up. But I did want to use some of those label stickers because they are really cute, and it does kind of go with this this theme over here. So I'm excited about using the routines spread. I think it's going to be really helpful as I'm trying to get the new pup on a schedule and really focus on, you know, what's working and what's not working. I think that's going to be really helpful. So with that, my month of January is all set up. I've got my word of the year, my monthly cover page. I've got my catch-all calendar where I will really, this is very functional part of my monthly setup. Everything comes here, and then I pull from here to set up my daily pages. I've got the monthly meal plan and my weather tracker, my daily gratitude journal, my goals at a glance, and a blank page so that I can really use this to track goal progress, any issues that I'm having, and, you know, successes. Then I've got my routine spread, morning and evening routine, and my brain dump page. So that is the setup for the month of January. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. How's your setup for January going? What's different? What's new? Any questions about my setup or how I'm using these pages? If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know. Subscribe to Plannin' Annie for more content like this. And as always, thanks for planning with me. Happy New Year.